faces here. I'm super excited. Thank you, Randy Spurlock. I'm Melissa Dockery. I'm the Safety and Compliance Director for both Blackwell Consolidation and Combined Transport. We do Friday roundtables every Friday at noon, and we are live with Roundtable on Facebook. And you can also view it later if you're unable to attend the live roundtable discussion. I do my roundtables a little bit differently than other people do. I do encourage participation, and I will pick on you because it's not really a roundtable discussion unless it's a roundtable discussion, right? So it looks like we've got some new drivers in here and some senior drivers in here and some corporate staff as well. So what I'd like to do is go around the room, and it's not necessarily for me, it's for the listeners and people who will view it later. If you can just tell me your name, what division you're in, and how long you've been here, I would greatly appreciate it. Sorry, you just took a bite. We'll start with you.
My name's Eddie, and transferring over from Blackwell to Combined, become a flatbed driver.
Okay.
Been here for 8 months.
What made you want to become a flatbed driver?
Just looking for new experiences, trying to expand my horizon.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the best things about this company is just because you start off somewhere doesn't mean that you have to end up there. So that's awesome. Next.
My name is Chris Chance. Done flatbed 2 years prior, and want to get back into flatbed just from getting a reefer. I'm not going to miss that. Flatbed's something I'm used to and I like it, and want some more exercise again. So.
Okay. And this is your first week here, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Thomas Crowell. I've been here let's see, the 30th will be 5 months.
Wow.
The heavy haul division, so.
Are you doing RGN or step deck?
The RGN,
RGN.
yeah, I got on a dedicated electric truck.
Oh, the Daimler trucks?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet gig.
So they got me doing other stuff too in between, slows down
Yeah.
when some of them big stuff, so.
Okay.
But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you're gonna get it. Name is Jerry Austin. Been with Combined for almost 30 years. I'm in heavy haul, RGN.
30 years. Wow.
And I'm in for my 3 million miles for Monday.
Oh, you are here for that? Oh, congratulations. We have a 3 million miler in the house. That's awesome. Congratulations, Jerry. I'll
Thank
make
you.
sure that I'm over there for that. When's the last time you were at the yard?
You'd have to ask me that, wouldn't you?
Has it been 3 years?
It's been about 2 or 3 years, yeah. I don't get up here that much. I'm a dedicated East Coast driver.
Yeah. Yeah, so we specifically brought you here for your 3 million mile
Right.
award. That's awesome.
I've got an oversize on right now. It's going down to Sparks, Nevada for Monday, and they're gonna bring me back up here for
Okay.
that deal.
Well, I'm so glad that you're able to join us. I don't think I've ever seen you at a roundtable.
This is
meeting
my first
before.
one. This is my first one here, so.
That's awesome.
Daniel here told me I had to come.
Liar.
That's awesome.
So anyway, that's me. I mean, that's what I'm here for.
Thank you. Well, we appreciate everything that you do for us, Jerry.
Yep.
30 years is a long time, man.
I'm Daniel, and on the heavy haul 7-axle RGN, and I've been here a little over 5.5 years.
Gosh, it's been that long already, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
crazy. Yeah. All right.
My name's Terry, flatbed, been here 10 years next month,
Have you done flatbed the whole time you've been here?
the whole time. I did glass for a while and then went straight to flatbed,
Yeah, I thought you were in glass for
Yeah.
a while. Yeah.
like,
In 10 years, huh?
like flatbed.
Well, congratulations on 10 years. I just celebrated my 10 years in July.
Oh, good,
Yeah. It's
good,
crazy.
good. We get extra vacations with 10 years?
Mm,
No?
no. No. I wish.
My name's Robert Ulrey. I'm with Recruiter in the Career Center.
How long you been with us?
I think it's like 2 months now.
Yeah. How you liking it?
I love it.
Good.
I do. Great group of people to work with.
Good.
Yeah. It's great.
My name's Randy Spurlock, and I work in the Career Center with Robert and also in the training cadre, or however you want to say it.
And how long you been with us?
20 some odd years, 20 plus years.
Got a lot of seniority in here. I like it. It gives people goals of, you know, I've never stayed at a company this long before, and there's a reason why I stay at this company. You know, it's home for me. So y'all are stuck with me. All right, so let's talk about, part of the reason we do roundtables is because it serves as kind of like a newsletter for the company, right? It's a good way to keep up on the current happenings and what's going to happen, and maybe, you know, get some education on the industry and its current status, stuff like that. So it also provides an opportunity for people on the road to see new faces and, you know, get some experience and education from, we can all learn something from each other, whether you've been here for 1 week or 5 months or 30 years. We can all learn something from each other. So let's go into some company news stuff. So we're approaching the end of the year quickly, which means fleet renewal. So December 31st, registration time's out for this year, and we begin a new year for registration. So please make sure, Brittany will send out notifications to you guys of when everything is ready. It takes them a couple of weeks to get it to us, and there is a 3-month grace period for you to have your credentials in your hand, okay, in the cab of the truck. So from January 1st to the end of March, you have to make sure and get through here to pick up your credentials, or if you're like Jerry and you don't ever see the yard, we can mail your credentials to you. So please keep that in mind. Now, remember, insurance doesn't renew until June. So you always want to make sure and pay attention to your licensing books, because all of your credentials will renew the end of the year, but insurance renews mid-year. And it gets some drivers into some trouble and violations and whatnot. So make sure you're keeping up on that. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about fleet renewal, Brittany Whaley is the licensing and compliance administrator, and she handles all of that for you. So
Brittany's over in the driver's services now, isn't she?
she is, yeah. So I'm interim manager for driver services, trying to get the department back on track and staffed, and get some policies and procedures back into play that we've kind of lost over time.
Yeah.
Progress is slow, but we are making progress, and hopefully we'll be fully staffed by end of next week. I'm hoping that somebody who's coming to shadow will be a winner, so then we'll be fully staffed. Randy doesn't want to work in driver services.
Sure he does.
But in any event, I brought licensing and compliance and claims and our safety and compliance department over to driver services, so they're all up there right now. Cody Coons has been promoted to the driver services assistant manager, so he's really knowledgeable in driver services and the company, and he's pretty much grown up here. So, and we'll be molding him over, you know, the next several months to become the driver services manager. So we're real excited about that. So I wasn't going to discuss this, but I think I'm going to anyways. I wanted to let everybody know, put our blinker on. We'll be making an announcement to the entire fleet next week, but we are switching ELD providers. So PeopleNet is phasing out and is becoming more difficult for updates and all kinds of stuff. So we're really struggling with this platform. So we are forced to switch ELD providers. So I'm putting my blinker on. That is happening. It's a much more user-friendly platform. It is caveman simple. So for drivers who have struggled on the PeopleNet to annotate their logs or change their duty status because maybe they forgot to change their duty status, in order to make logbook corrections yourself, it is so simple. And it's gonna save you guys a lot of time. Also, another benefit to this new ELD provider is, and we get calls about this all the time, but currently in PeopleNet, we can't touch the drive line. And it's a federal regulation that we can't touch the drive line. However, in this new ELD provider platform, if you meant to be on PC or a yard move, and it accidentally put you on the drive line, you can change it back to PC or the yard move, and it is completely legal to do so.
Got a question for you. Now on this people net that we have, I got stopped one time over in Louisiana, and I had an excavator on. The officer that had me pulled over, comes up, he looked at my load, he looked at me. I ran my logs for him and everything. My logs said I was hauling a building, not a machine. And he was gonna write me up for it. And I told him, he said, you're falsifying your logs. And he said that, and he said, you don't have a bill of lading. And I said, yes, I do. My CT number acts as a bill of lading on these loads. He said, well, he says, it's showing you're having a building and not a machine. So at that time, I think his name was Robert, that was handling the people now. Excuse me, I had called him and told him what happened. So I said, from now on, when I pick up a load, if it's a machine or whatever, I'm gonna put in there, OD, machine. And that way, when it comes across on the people net, if I get called up again, it's gonna come up and say, okay, I'm hauling a machine and not a building.
Yeah.
And he said that'd be a smart thing to do. So if you guys are in heavy haul, running through Louisiana, that's what you, then, I mean, I've been doing it, I don't care what state I'm in, I automatically just put it in.
Yeah, and it's gonna be much easier to track that stuff in this new platform. Also, it makes you certify your logs at the beginning of your shift for the previous 24 hours. A lot of drivers will ask me, well, what if I'm on home time for a week? You know, I'm not gonna go out there and certify my logs while I'm on home time. You just have to do it the next time you start your shift for the previous time that hasn't been certified. It's gonna be much easier to do that on this new platform. There's a lot of benefits that I'm really excited for you guys about. So keep an eye out. Tyler will be announcing on Facebook. Is that what?
Yep.
Okay, Facebook, and probably a global will be sent out as well. So keep an eye out. We'll be providing more information. We expect to be fully operational before the end of first quarter with this new ELD platform. So super exciting. It's also going to save time for staff for the back office as well. So, and the ELD provider will also be our camera provider. So it's the ELD, it's your electronic logging device, right? And then we have our forward-facing cameras still, but we'll be switching providers. So they're an all-in-one solution for us, and it's going to help save the company money, which in turn gets passed down to you guys in different
Now,
forms.
are we gonna have to, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Now, are we gonna have to come back here to have all that taken, changed over in the trucks then?
So actually, installation is super, super simple. So it is simple enough for drivers to do.
Oh, God, here we go.
But ideally, we wanna do it here. So we wanna install here.
Okay.
But for some drivers who never come to the yard, you know, it's really difficult. So we've got a couple of different avenues that we're gonna do. In fact, you know, you can get yours installed while you're here and just not go live until it's time to go live. So you
That means
might
I gotta
wanna
use paper
inquire about
logs.
it. Nope, you would stay on your PeopleNet. We just wouldn't go live with what we install.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, maybe talk to the shop about it.
Maybe they can do mine.
What was that?
Maybe they can do mine since I'm here on the yard.
Maybe, I don't wanna jump ahead, so just inquire about it, let them know
Well,
that you don't see the
I'm not
yard
gonna
very
worry about
well.
it right now, but I mean, you know,
Mhm.
I mean, y'all, I know y'all want me to come up here more often so you can, you know, see my good looks and everything. That's
Well,
all.
we do miss you when you're gone,
Oh,
Jerry.
God, here we go. Now I'm going.
Alright,
Okay.
let's switch gears and talk about compliance. So CSA, Britton Love says, hi, a real round table. Hi, Britton. We're gonna switch gears to compliance. I wanna talk about CSA because I don't think that we've discussed it in quite a while at the roundtables, and our hours of service category is still in alert status. So, everybody here is familiar with CSA? And what it is? Okay, for those of you who are viewing and may not know what CSA is FMCSA's Measuring and Accountability Program for motor carriers and for drivers. And FMCSA says that there are several different categories that they are gonna measure all of us on, right? So we have our substance abuse and alcohol category. Don't do drugs and drink and drive, please. Unsafe driving category, which is your speeding tickets, unsafe following, distracted driving, that type of stuff, right? And then we have our vehicle maintenance category, so do your proper pre and post trip inspections. And then we have hazmat, which we don't dabble in very much, and driver fitness, so making sure that your med cert is certified with your DMV. If you have restrictions on your license, such as corrective lenses, that you are utilizing them while operating a commercial vehicle. So each of those categories has a threshold that FMCSA says that we're not allowed to go over, otherwise you are an unsafe motor carrier or an unsafe driver, if you will. When you get pulled into a scale and you get an inspection or you have a roadside inspection, if you get any violations, with the exception of like maybe an overweight violation, because that's non-CSA, there are points associated with each violation that you get. The driver gets points and the motor carrier gets points, okay? And those points don't fall off for
3 years.
some are 2 years, some are 3 years. So in any event, we are over the threshold in the hours of service category, okay? What do you think and you two already heard it this morning, so you're not allowed to participate in this one. What do you think our top hours of service violation is for both Blackwell and combined transport?
Going over 11 or 14-hour rule.
I wish that it was, actually. That would be a lot better if it was.
Not certifying your logs.
That is a very common violation, but not our top one. Anybody else? Want to take a stab at it?
Speeding?
Nope, not for hours of service. That would go in under the unsafe category. So it's, go ahead.
It's PC.
It is improperly utilizing personal conveyance.
Oh.
Utilizing personal conveyance in a manner that benefits the company, right? So advancing a load or using PC to go pick up or whatnot. So when you go on PC and you are doing something for the company, that is falsifying a federal document, okay? So it is a federal document, and when you do that and you get a violation for it, it's called false record of duty status. Well, they're doing that because you're falsifying your logs.
Right.
You are, on your federal document, you are indicating that you are operating a commercial vehicle for personal use. Going to get groceries, going to take a shower, whatever it is, right? And in fact, you are still actively on duty for the company. Okay, so you're falsifying your logs. Now, DOT considers that to be a critical violation. Critical. So, and in a DOT audit, critical violations are bad, okay? So in an audit, they request the last 6 months of random driver's logs, right? They're usually drivers with CSA points or accidents or maybe some citations or tickets received over the road, right? So they ask for the last 6 months of your logs. So if you utilize personal conveyance in a manner that benefits the company and say you don't get popped by DOT, it's still on your federal document, and when we get audited, they can still pull that for the last 6 months, right? So you have to be careful, because just because DOT doesn't catch you doesn't mean that it's not gonna catch up to you at some point, right? And what you do out there affects the entire fleet, okay? So if you are getting a lot of violations over the road, whether it be vehicle maintenance, hours of service, and we end up going over the threshold, our pull-in rate increases in certain states. You probably don't experience it that much, Jerry, because the East Coast states aren't as strict.
I got a question for you now.
Yeah.
You brought that up on that PC deal.
Yep.
Here a while back, I had an oversized load on, I broke down and got held up in traffic. And I was losing my time for driving. My hours, my time-wise was getting short, and I wasn't gonna be able to make the truck stop where I had to go, where I could go to. That was the nearest place to go with this oversized. I called driver services. And they told me to go ahead. I can't remember who the guy was. Told me to go ahead and run it. to about almost, where you're about almost out of time, and then switch it over to PC, and then go on to the truck stop on your PC.
So run out your hours and then utilize PC to the next safest
For
place.
the next, I think it was like another 10 miles or so, and maybe it was even that.
But it
To
was
get
in
to
the
the truck
direction
stop,
of
to
your
get
load.
off the road with that oversized, but I was told to go ahead and do so.
Okay. So it is okay to do that. However, if it's in the direction of your load, and being overdimensional, you're not really gonna be able to do this, but you have to go back to the place that you started at. Otherwise, they're gonna consider it you advancing your load. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, wait a minute, I'll do what now?
So if you start PC at point A right here, because you're out of hours,
Yeah.
and you drive 10 miles to the
Okay.
truck stop,
To the truck stop.
right, so when you are ready to start your shift the next day, you wanna PC back 10 miles to where you started, so that you can prove to DOT that you weren't utilizing PC to advance the
Ooh,
load. It's
I
not a
wasn't-
requirement to
I
do
wasn't
that.
told that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not a rule that you have to do that, but DOT is gonna see that as you advancing the load.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
So-
So it's just better safe than sorry to do
So
it
to
that
go to
way.
restart again, I'd have to go back to where I started my PC then.
And do on-duty
How would
driving.
you do that?
Bobtail?
I mean, being overdimensional at that, it's really difficult, so I
Yeah,
suppose
bobtail.
you could bobtail back the 10 miles on PC and then go on-duty
Well, I
driving.
can do that, okay.
and then pick up
I
your
can leave the
load,
I
you
can
know?
leave the load there at the truck stop and do that. I can leave it there and then bobtail back where I started my PC and then come back.
It's just better safe than sorry to do it that
Oh,
way.
see,
Would
I
you
wasn't-
agree, Randy?
Yeah, I wasn't told to
Think so.
do that. I was just said, no, he just said, run it up to about like 5 minutes before your time runs out on your log. Go ahead and stop it, and then switch over to PC and then go on to your truck stop. He didn't say I had to go back,
Yeah, so
so I
Those-
didn't do that. I just went ahead and went on.
yeah, well, and those are the types of things that we're trying to get back on track up there.
Okay.
We're working on, so,
Did you know that?
Yeah, it is now.
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, cause I've had them tell me the same scenario.
Mhm.
I wish now,
You know,
if you'd have
can't-
told me
If you
that,
need to move on down the road, just PC it and then go from there. They never tell me to come back.
yeah, come
Okay.
back.
Yeah, I had the same issue.
Okay, well, that's what we're working on to get back, so,
I definitely.
we are making progress in that department. Hi, David.
Hi there.
Are you gonna stay for roundtable?
Huh?
You gonna stay for roundtable?
I don't think there's anything I can add to the round table today.
Okay,
In,
fine.
They got-
in a,
they got
in a
food.
month,
They got
in a
food.
month I can add to it.
Yeah.
I won't do it yet.
So, personal conveyance, I beg you,
Yeah, that's good to
please
know.
only use it for personal reasons and be smart about it. Make sure that you annotate correctly, because even if you utilize personal conveyance in the right way and you don't annotate it, you can get a violation. So, I mean, we are counting on you guys. If I could fix our CSA scores, I would have already done so. We have made a lot of progress in CSA, but hours of service, I feel like we're just stuck in this vortex. So help us get out of it. I mean, everybody's depending on everybody to do it, so.
I think the argument against the scenario that Jerry's talking about could be construed as, you could have planned for that.
Sure.
That's something that
Oh,
could have
yeah,
been
yeah.
planned to avoid, and that would be the argument, and it would be valid, that argument.
Well, the bad thing about it is, I mean, I had my plan to stop at that particular truck stop, but when you get hold up in traffic, or you get held up in
Absolutely,
an
yeah.
accident, and you can't move, and your time is going click, 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 click.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the next thing you know, when you are moving, and you pull up your, see what you got left for driving, and it says, well, you got an hour and 58 minutes, and I'm going, I ain't gonna make it.
Yeah,
That's why I called driver services, and I told them, I says, my truck stop's on down the road, and I got an hour left on my e-log, I'm not gonna make it.
yeah,
That's why he said, well, go ahead and go what you can, don't let it run completely out, you know, leave about 2 or 3 or maybe 5 minutes on there.
Mhm.
You drop it, and then start your PC mile so you can continue on to the truck stop.
yeah,
So that's what I did. That's what happens, I mean, I had it all planned, but when you get into a backup or an accident or whatever, I mean, when you got like a 10, 15 mile backup,
yeah, you can't plan for
What are you gonna do?
everything,
you know, and I hear sitting with an oversight, I'm going, well.
And especially for the drivers that trip plan down to the minute, you know. we have drivers in the fleet that will maximize their hours of service down to the seconds or
No, I
the
can't do that.
minutes,
No,
you
no,
know?
no, no.
So you can't plan for everything all the time. It's never gonna be cut and dry like that.
I can have anywhere between an hour to 2 hours, and I know my truck stops down the road, and I can't go, that's it. I don't care if I got 2 hours left on that log, I stop.
Yeah.
I'm done for the day,
Yeah.
so.
All right, any questions, comments, concerns about PC?
I always use mine for stores and stuff like that when I have to go to the store or whatever, and
That's good. So I wanna talk about, Dick Card passed away.
huh?
Dick Card passed away on October 24th at the age of 92. So I want to offer my condolences to the Card family.
Yeah.
And we are going to have a celebration of life on November 19th at the Blackwell Yard, and it's going to be at 2 p.m. So we're going to celebrate Dick's life and probably have a barbecue and whatnot. So everybody is welcome to attend. Please don't feel obligated to, but if you are in the area or if you're able to, we would love to have you.
I like that guy.
That's the
He was a-
19th?
He was a fine man, he really was.
He really was,
And
yeah.
the thing was, once he knew you, he never forgot you.
Yep. He
He
lived
always-
an extraordinary life.
Yeah.
And, he founded this company, and I'm personally grateful to him for, because
Well, even when we were over at the old yard, I mean, if I was over at the yard and he'd show up, of course, he'd always show up. I mean, Jerry, how you doing? I mean, I didn't have to tell him who I was. He knew who I was. And I liked the man, I really did. I met his wife one time. I met her once. She was out there in the truck, the pickup.
yeah.
But they were, great bunch of people. They really were.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to let everybody know, and for those who are listening in, November 19th, 2 p.m. at the Blackwell Yard for a celebration of life. The last thing that I'm going to go over is, it's already 12:30, I want to talk about the referral bonus. Robert, I'm going to pick on you. Will you talk about the referral bonus?
Sure. So, we do have a referral bonus, and the way it works is, if you refer another driver, they have to be an experienced driver, and we hire them, you get a $2,000 bonus. We have to hire, well, no, you don't just get $2,000, they have to work for us for at least a month for you to qualify to get the $2,000 bonus. And from what I'm told, they do pay that bonus out, just the full amount, after the 30 days of that person working here. But there's one thing we're having problems with, they've had problems with in the past. When you refer someone, you gotta make sure they have your truck number, your name. They gotta make sure they tell us that you referred them, because when they get here for orientation and then say, oh, so-and-so referred, it don't qualify. We gotta put it down in the system through the hiring process for you to qualify for that $2,000 bonus.
That is correct. And we pay it after 30 days.
After 30 days.
If the new hire makes it, the 30 days, then that's when you're entitled to the referral bonus. So thank you, Robert, very much for being here for 2 months. You're very knowledgeable in that area. All right, you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Well, one thing I gotta find out, they're getting $2,000 per driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
So if I get you 2 drivers, that's $4,000.
it is.
So I gotta get 2 drivers.
Yeah, if you get us 10 drivers.
It's a great way to supplement your income, I'm telling you.
Hey, let's team up.
So,
Let's team up. You get these guys on the West Coast.
You can take it easy.
all right, y'all, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I hope everybody has a safe weekend, and if anybody ever needs